What's up, guys? This is the Vinyl Casket. My name is Nick. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and checking this out right now here on Twitch and on YouTube. Once again, please do me a huge favor. Drop a follow, subscribe, like, hit the bell, comment. Let me know what's going on, what you guys want me to check out next. And follow my Instagrams at Vinyl Casket and Vinyl Casket Comics. Right now, as you know, right here, we are doing a review on the Marvel Studios MCU tie-in Hawkeye Disney Plus original show. Like I said, this is a Disney Plus show tying in to the MCU and the Marvel movies, starring Clint Barton, Hawkeye. Really cool to see a main Avenger from the original two Avenger movies get brought in and have his own title, get a little bit more focus. He's one of the few that never got a movie of his own. I think everyone now has gotten a movie besides him, but he's getting a show. This released November 24th, this past week. So I saw it, I let it sit a little bit, and now I'm ready to do a solid review. So we'll get right into the fact that I 100% enjoyed this. It was amazing. I have some gripes. Hawkeye is one of my favorite Avenger characters from the comics. Growing up, my first introduction to Marvel Comics, reading comics, was the West Coast Avengers, which is a 90s title, 80s, 90s title, where Hawkeye and his then wife Mockingbird take on the job of organizing and running their own team of Avengers, while Cap and everybody, for some reason, are in New York and doing the whole East Coast. They have this transition where they take over the whole West Coast of California, New Mexico, Texas, Nevada, that whole area where they're responding to threats, which realistically makes sense. Really cool. That's where a lot of Hawkeye's development happened until later on with the Great Lakes Avengers and the Thunderbolts and his solo series, which a lot of this Matt Fraction solo series stuff is super reflected because we have Kate Bishop introduced finally. I thought this was really cool. So let me talk a little bit about this, and then I'll talk about the story. So cinematically, shot-wise, editing-wise, perfect. Spot on. Probably the best edited and cinematic, technical show that we've gotten from the MCU. Lots of city stuff, lots of movement, lots of crammed camera work. We got a lot of that in Falcon and Winter Soldier. This show did it so far 100 times better. I think both are great, but this just looked more fluid, more crisp, more enjoyable for me. And then, WandaVision had its own kind of thing going on, and Loki did the whole interstellar stuff. So comparatively, this is very different from those two, but this did it what Falcon Winter Soldier did and just kind of amped it up. They captured New York City perfectly, especially the Christmas theme. Thought was great. Soundtrack was really good. Transitions were solid. Special effects were pretty solid. Standard, middle of the ground, but everything together felt really like a high production cost. It just really hit, and I really enjoyed everything visually. Now straight into the story, right? I thought the introduction of Kate Bishop was really solid. I thought going into the second episode was a little bit rocky with her character development and how she was being portrayed, and then it kind of tweaked itself by the end. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I was originally really angry that they snuck in Hawkeye's hearing loss, right? That's something that's come with the comics here and there throughout the past 20-30 years, and then most recently in that Matt Fraction run was a big thing. I thought it was really annoying that they snuck it in, but then when they explained it and gave some background to it, I was like, okay, cool. It's its own unique thing because it didn't take any of the background information from the comics. It came up with its own explanation, and I thought that made sense. You know, Hawkeye going through all this physical trauma through all these events, being in the Avengers, being one of the only human, like fully human people. You know, Tony had the suit, Cap's a super soldier, Hulk is the Hulk, Thor is a god. Him and Black Widow were the only real humans. So for him to have like all this like physical trauma and have hearing loss makes sense. Um, I like the development of his kids. You know, I'm assuming this is like a year or so, maybe more after the whole Thanos thing, because the world kind of seems like it's kind of back to normal. That Rogers play, Broadway play, was hilarious. Trying to think what other elements of this I really thought before I talk about like the overall plot. Oh, the dog, Lucky. Kind of like forced in there without any real explanation or background. When I know that like it's like the dog is like a very important element, but I'm assuming that's gonna be hammered out as the series takes off. So I'm not that mad at it. And yeah, I thought those elements are cool. Before I talk about the overall plot, there's something that's used in the plot, which is the Ronin suit. So obviously during Endgame and Infinity Wars, you get to see that Hawkeye, when he lost his family, went crazy, donned the persona of Ronin, which he did in the comics, and went around with no one knowing who Ronin was, and slaughtered villains and cults and mafia bosses, and garnered a lot of enemies, a lot of problems, right? Then suddenly, after Endgame, disappears. You know, everyone knows Hawkeye, but no one knows who Ronin is. No one connects that they're the same people. With that being done, this suit somehow ends up in a black market auction, and Kate Bishop somehow ends up, you know, acquiring it. And when she takes out these villains with the suit, all these other villains start coming after her, tracking her down, figuring out who she is because of the suit, and it causes a bunch of problems. So happens that Hawkeye's in New York on vacation with his kids and has to go and track down the suit and prevent her from getting killed, and this whole thing. And I thought that the Ronin suit being used as a plot element was so interesting, so original, and makes so much sense to the Hawkeye character for the MCU, and ties these comic elements together in a way that hasn't been done in the comics, but makes perfect sense in the MCU, and really gives it its own unique storyline that I really like. It's not taking anything from a specific storyline or forcing things to work in the MCU. It's an original plot, and I thought it was really, really tasteful. Yeah. What else? So, talk a little bit about the introduction of Kate Bishop. I thought making her, you know, tying her experience as a kid to the first Avengers movie and seeing Hawkeye and being inspired by Hawkeye. So when she meets Clint, there's like this awe, like thing between them. Like she's like this badass, not afraid of anything. But then she sees her idol, and then she loses it. She's like this archery and martial artist like champion that has all these skills that are just waiting. She loves the color purple. She's wearing a purple suit at the beginning. It just, the elements are there. They're lined, they're laced, they're ready to go. She has this connection to the Avengers by experiencing that first thing in this innate sense of what's the word? Of needing to be like a protector of her family. Yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. I just want to look up one thing before I say it so I'm not wrong. I want to make sure that this is the correct character. Okay, so it's all right. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the direction. They don't necessarily name drop who he is, so I don't want to say it. I don't want to spoil it too hard because this is a spoiler review. But I did really enjoy it. I did really enjoy the first 2 episodes. I think they felt fluid. I think they felt good. They looked great, and the story was really believable and original. And that's something that I've been waiting. A lot of these storylines we've gotten from the movies and the shows are existing things that are being modified and tweaked. Like, they might not have involved the characters that they're involving, but like, the Ragnarok stuff was World War Hulk, Planet Hulk. The Civil War stuff was a modified version of Civil War. Infinity War was the Infinity War and the Infinity Gauntlet stuff modified to work with the characters they had. So like a lot of these events have like taken what they have and modified it from the comics to work. This is really original. Like obviously it's taking a lot from the Matt Fraction stuff, but when the Matt Fraction comics came out, Kate Bishop was already established as Hawkeye with the Young Avengers. Young Avengers don't exist yet. I want to say yet, because right now, another thing I'm going to end this review with is the potential that they've been setting up. Giving us the character that becomes Patriot in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Giving us Speed and Wiccan in WandaVision. Telling us that there's a Miss Marvel show coming. Showing us, that I think American Chavez is going to be a thing. That young Loki, like Kid Loki, is possible. That what's it called? Ironheart is coming. All these things. Like I'm waiting for like She-Hulk to somehow give us Hulkling. Like I'm excited for these things, these possibilities. Like I know there's gonna be like a Kang thing eventually. Are we gonna get Iron Lad? Is it with White Vision? Could we get Kid Vision? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are they gonna use White Vision to replace Kid Vision? So like when we somehow get Speed and Wiccan back, White Vision doesn't really know who they are, but knows who they. You know what I'm saying? There's so much potential here. We have Stature exists in this world. Scott Lang's daughter, who's now old enough to be Stature. Like, there's a lot of elements here for the Young Avengers, and developing Kate Bishop as Hawkeye is like that big, like last straw. So yeah, I think it was really good. I might have missed a couple of things, but I think I talked about everything that I enjoyed about this. I highly suggest watching it. I think they're going to come out every Wednesday on Disney Plus. I think it's about 6 episodes probably. Really cool show so far. Can't wait to see the suits introduced. And I can't wait to see where this goes from here. Rating. Out of 5, I'm gonna give everything so far a strong 3.5. With that being said, I am Nick. This is the Vinyl Casket, home of the lamest taste. Do me a huge favor here on YouTube and on Twitch. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want me to check out next. And follow my Instagrams at Vinyl Casket and Vinyl Casket Comics. With that being said, do me the number one favor that I need you to do, and stay lame.